Have you ever found a brilliant script or tool online but no idea how to actually get it working, tweak it, or stay updated when the creator makes improvements? That's where Git and GitHub come in. They look intimidating, but they don't have to be. Git is a tool that helps you track changes in your projects, and GitHub is a platform where you can store those projects online, collaborate with others, and pull in updates whenever they happen. It's like a safety net, a history log, and a collaboration hub all rolled into one. If you're a creator, whether you're editing videos, building little tools, or just experimenting with Python scripts, Git and GitHub can seriously upgrade your workflow. Today, we're getting practical. We'll set up Git, clone a real project from GitHub, make our own changes, and learn how to keep everything synced. By the end, you'll not only understand how it works, you'll have used it yourself. Let's jump in. The first thing we want to do is download Git. Downloads. I'm going to download the Windows version because I'm on Windows. If you're on Mac, obviously you need a Mac. I'm going to download that, save it. There we go. Install it. I'm not going to install it because I already have it installed, but you would go through, click through, all the default settings are fine, and then you have Git on your system. At that point, it's probably a good idea to restart your system. So I'll see you then. We've restarted, we're back in Windows, and the next thing I'm going to do actually is install another piece of software from the Microsoft Store. And we're going to search for terminal. And it's this one. Again, I already have it installed, but you can just install it here and then open it. And what this is essentially is just like a command line tool that makes things a little bit easier to use. And we will be using it in this tutorial. So I recommend doing that. If you're on Mac, then terminal is already built in actually, and you can just use it there. So we've got our terminal here, and what we can do just to check whether Git is installed properly is go to git --version. And if it isn't installed here, if it comes up with an error or some other message, then either you need to restart your system or your terminal, or there's some kind of other error, like a path error or something. If you come up with that stuff, just go on to ChatGPT, ask it, get to this stage basically, and then carry on from here. What can we do with this? Well, this is kind of what it's useful for, right? It's like you found something useful on GitHub and you want to copy it locally and you want to make some changes to it. So I'll link to this, but essentially in a previous tutorial, I made a little kind of asset organizer. And you kind of, maybe if you haven't, maybe you have seen a page like this before. It's a GitHub repository. You're like, how do I use this? How do I even like run this thing? And what you want to do if you want to run anything that you find on GitHub basically is you click on the green thing here, and you can just download it as a zip. That's fine, but you're only going to get the latest version. You're not going to get any updates that way. Or you can copy this thing here, and basically what you're going to do is we'll open up File Explorer. We'll find somewhere to put this. I'm just going to do it in my sort of tutorial folder. Right click, open in terminal, new terminal window, and then we're going to go git clone, and then paste in the URL that we got. And it'll do it, and it'll copy it, and we'll get it locally. So here we go. We've got Project Organizer. That's it. It's cloned, and we've got it all locally. If you've got Python installed, for this one in particular, all you have to do is double click it and then open it. And then this is the app. This is the little app that I made in that other tutorial. But what we're going to do is we're going to go and edit this and have a play around with it. I'm using an app called Cursor for this, which is a code editor, which I showed how to use in a previous tutorial. But all you have to do is go to the Cursor website, download it, install it, and all that stuff. And then you'll get to a page like this. And then you open project. So we're going to go find our project, which I believe was in the tutorial temp project organizer. Go in here. And now this is the project. This is the Python file for this project, essentially. And I've got my AI chat on the right, and then I'm also going to open up a terminal, similar to what we did before, but this is like built in, basically. So we can run it from here as well. We can go run without debugging, Python, and then here we go. We've got our thingy, basically, our app. So let's close that. Maybe we want to make some changes to this. So let's change the buttons to red. There we go. There should be red now. Let's run it and see what happens. Yeah, there we go. Red buttons. Great. But we might want to save that, and we might want to be able to update it and change the code and make more kind of bigger changes later. So this is where we need to connect it to our own GitHub so we can kind of save our changes and be able to pull the changes that the original creator made, because they might not want red buttons. We might want red buttons, but we might also want to get the changes that they've made if they've updated the functionality of it or something. So the first thing we're going to do is go git remote rename origin upstream. And what this does is basically say that we're not going to push to the original one. We're going to push to our own one when we set it up in a minute, but we do want to pull from the remote one that we set up previously, or the person who made it originally. So then what we need to do is we need to go back to GitHub. And if you didn't already, you basically just need to make your own account in order to make repositories and all that sort of stuff. But I already have my own account, so we're going to go to repositories. We're going to make one here. Going to go git create the repository, and then all we need to do here is copy this, and then back over in our project we are going to say git remote add origin, because we do want the origin to be this, and we're going to set it to be git tutorial, and that's done now. And then at this point, all we should need to do, I mean, we've made some changes, so let's see what happens actually. If we go git push origin main, there we go, we've uploaded to our repository that we've just made. So if we go on here, we should have those. There we go, project organizer. Let's scroll down. There we go, it's bright yellow still. So you can see that we've made some changes, but we haven't seen those changes. This is still the old changes, if you know what I mean, like the yellow one that was the original. So all we need to do is to go back over to our code editor or terminal or whatever it is, and go git add, which is the command to like add any changes or any files or anything that you've changed. So we'll do git add, and then a dot is just adding everything at once, which you pretty much want to do every time unless you're doing something slightly more advanced. Do that, and then we're going to go git commit, which is the next bit. And put -m because we want to add a message to it. And commit is basically saying, right, we've added these changes, this is what we want to do, and then committing them is saying, right, they're done. Like this is the new commit. And the commit is basically a way of looking back at all of the changes that have been made across the whole of the history, basically, of that repository. So we can go made buttons red, and then we'll do git push origin main. Then we should be able to go over here, refresh this page, and see if this has changed. Yeah, it has changed. Yeah, red. We've got red buttons now. And what we can also do as well is we can go git log, and then we can see all of the changes that have been made since we've started. Right. So yeah, that was the original one, and then our next change here was made the buttons red. So we can kind of see what has been going on there, which is helpful. And the nice thing is you can always go and git pull, and it will pull from the repository that someone else, the other person, made. So if they made some key changes, you can pull those changes, and it doesn't necessarily affect the stuff you did. If you like fundamentally change stuff, then there will be some like discrepancies. But say you added some stuff on top of it, you made like a different UI or all this stuff, like core functionality, depending on how the app was built, that will get updated, and then the new stuff you added still remains, and then you can like decide how you want to integrate that stuff if there are indeed conflicts. A lot of the time it will just work depending on how you build things. But that is the essentials of how to use Git and GitHub, and hopefully it's a little less scary now. So now you've installed Git, cloned a project, made changes, pushed your own work to GitHub repo, and even set yourself up to pull updates from the original creator. That's a full professional Git workflow in your pocket. And hopefully it feels a bit less scary now. Git isn't just for coders, it's for creators who want to work smarter, collaborate better, and build on the amazing tools that are already out there. If you want the script we use today, or if you're curious about more ways to automate boring tasks and free up your creative time, the links are just below. Join our mailing list too if you want early access to the tools we're building for creators like you.